Hiya, and welcome back to Project Camper. First off, this video is not sponsored by Squarespace or Skillshare, and certainly isn't sponsored by Jackery or any other tool company like that. This video is actually sponsored by freshair.com. If you step outside, you will get 10% off your first order. So, let's get on with the video. So under the seat is my pump and the pressure gauge. And to let the air out of the rear suspension, you have to press this. Now it is a bit of a faff. If I can get something to hand. So to let it down, see the gauge going down, back end of the van going down. I'll feel it now. So, and when you want to pump it up, you've got a cable here, and it just plugs into this little socket here. So you can just push it. There's a button on the back, and you just you get the idea. Pump it up so it raises the rear suspension. But, as I said, to depressurise it, it's a right faff. Again, I don't want to be doing that. I want to push a button. So I've bought this. Somehow I've got to get that onto there, and this gauge, as I said, I want to sit in here. So what I want to do, that pump will stay where it is, but have a button and the gauge here. So a button to turn the compressor on and a button to depressurise it. So let's see how it goes. So I'm going to have to disconnect this and pull it apart and see how it all works. Right, I've managed to bodge in this here, this connector here that goes into the valve, air release valve. That is just a power air tool compressor fixing. And what I've done, I've just I'll quickly what I've done, grind it down, and I'll just put this piece of pipe on, that which went into the other aluminium block with the gauge. I can't really use this gauge because it sits that way. I'll show you in a second. So that goes on there. It does leak, I expect. Right, so now we can turn it on. Back into the van, we'll go up. There you go, it's going up now. You can see by my tow bar hitting the back of the garage, it just flop over. That's probably near its maximum pressure, and it is, as you can hear, it's leaking, but by pressing the button, job done. what I've done, I've bought a little project box, IP55 box, just from B&Q or Wix. No, it's actually Wix. So I'm going to house this in there. This switch will then go on the dash. Get rid of that. And also the gauge. Oh, I've lost the gauge. There it is. The gauge, not this one. Excuse me. The gauge, not this one, will sit there. Obviously you can't use this because it's going to be like that, and that'll do my head in. So, and it's not backlit, is it? So I'm going to get an air gauge that sits in there and comes on with the lights. So there's a bit of a project which I'm going to be coming back to. Right, I've just pulled this out of there and quickly scribed up that. So what I'm going to do now is I've bought, I'll come over here, excuse the mess, so that's there. I've got a couple of switches. Well, that's going to be obviously one switch to power it all on, and then I've got this project box. That's going to house the air release solenoid, which I've obviously shown you earlier. So that's going to be air release, and then in my pocket, hopefully, I've got another one. So power on, I'm going to put this one at the top, so that's going to energize, that's going to energize the pump, and this one is going to release the pump, or release the pressure. And in here, I'm going to have a gauge. Now, I've looked on eBay, and you can buy a gauge for about, well, a backlit gauge, which is what I would like. And they're about like 50 quid. So if I do it this way, I should have, obviously, the power on, pressure release, and the gauge. And I think this whole setup would have cost 50 quid for the gauge, £10 for the release, a bit of wiring, probably about 60, 70 quid for a bit of wiring. Now if you go on a Air Ride website, they're going to charge you for manual switches. Okay, so you've still got to manually deflate them. 120 quid I think it was. That's one website, and I just thought, no, I'm not doing that. So I decided to make my own in the good old fashioned style that I'm accustomed to. So that's how far I've got. So I'm going to rearrange, well, arrange these somewhere and in a 52mm hole, and come back to you. I roughly measured out where the 4 switches are going to go. Even though I've only got 3 switches, I've made a provision, and I will put a 4th one in, don't know why, for something I expect, and then obviously that's where the gauge is going to go. So hopefully it should look quite symmetrical. Right, so everything is all back in, batteries back in, the battery tray, the mats, and under here I put it in. I've left the top off, and there you have it. There's the project box. All I need to do now is get a inline block, so then I can add the sensors for the gauge. So that's all done. That works perfect. And after much faffrage, there it is. I haven't trimmed it yet because I'm going to try and find some vinyl that sort of matches the grain. If not, I'm just going to PVC cover it. So we have this switch here, energizes these two buttons, and this one will be for the volt gauge, and obviously the gauge that's going to go here. So pump up, then hopefully you can hear it. Fan's going up, and then push button, fan's going down. So we just see underneath the seat. So pump on. And then depressure. And that controls the airbags, which are there. So what I might do is actually I'll put the camera on the stand and pump the bags up. So there you go, a semi informative video of how to make air ride go up and down at a push of a button without having to buy 120. In fact, I've seen some of the controllers that are 330 quid. Airride.com, I think it was. And it's like, God, I can't do that. It's not, you know, it's not in my budget, but I mean, for 10 quid for that valve, I'll put a link in the description, and I got it on eBay down there. And yeah, so obviously it's not finished. There is a leak, which I've just ordered. I think it's a 1/4 inch BSP to 1/4 inch NTP. Which then I can get rid of the tube and the airline fitting, and it just goes straight in, which would be absolutely perfect. And then yeah, I've ordered another T-piece, and then that can go for the gauge, but I will have to get some more piping. So it's not completely finished, but hopefully you get the gist of it. So if you like this video, give me a thumbs up. If you didn't, give it a thumbs down. As always, put a comment down below, tell me what you thought, and if you're new here, click the subscribe button. I love it. Anyway, thanks for watching, and I'll see you in the next video with some more fresh air for 10% off. Cheers, bye.